So I was someone that would honestly look forward to my nightly bottle or two of wine starting at around 11 a.m. every day. I'd kind of be watching the clock, counting down until the time that I could go home and just zone out, open up that bottle of wine, and just really numb out from life. I loved to drink. I loved having that red wine in a fancy wine glass. I loved having the wine while I cooked dinner and just continued to drink throughout the night. And I did this routine pretty much 7 nights a week for nearly 10 years. And while I really loved to drink, as many of us know, there were also so many negative consequences that came from it. I was just in a hangover kind of brain fog a lot of the time. I was gaining weight, didn't feel very energized, was just lethargic. I would constantly put off like car washes and oil changes and laundry just because I'd be so exhausted kind of recovering from my drinking. Yet at the same time, I was always looking forward to my next drink and my next drinking session. And I was in a place where I'd been a heavy drinker for almost 10 years, and I honestly had tried to quit dozens of times, but I never made it long term because a big part of me didn't want to give up alcohol forever. I didn't identify as an alcoholic, and I didn't want to be someone who had to live the rest of my life saying, man, I could never touch alcohol again. And so my real desire was to get to a place where I could be a quote unquote normal drinker with alcohol. Like my husband, he's someone who drinks a couple of nights a week and he has a couple of glasses of wine and he never overdoes it. And he has this like really normal relationship with alcohol. And so I was like, that's what I want. I don't want to have to go alcohol free forever and say that I'm an alcoholic. But what I wanted was to be somebody who could have champagne at a wedding and wine with my Italian dinner and beer on a hot summer day and be able to consume alcohol, but not be in a place where it was like controlling my daily life and where I was just constantly overdoing it and I was experiencing the negative consequences of it. So this led me down a path of really trying to find different strategies and methods to drink moderately. And so I would try to save my drinking for the weekends, or I'd try to set limits, or I would try to just really drink mindfully. And what I found through all of these attempts is that moderate drinking was really, really difficult for me to do. It was a lot of effort and planning, and I failed at it most of the time. Like I would look at my husband and he could just have 2 glasses of wine and call it a night. Like he wouldn't have to force anything. It would just be natural to him. And so I found that moderate drinking was really, really hard to do. So naturally, I really started to question whether or not I was ever going to be able to drink moderately, or if I was going to have to be someone, who just said, oh, I can't drink alcohol anymore because I can't control it. And like I said, I really didn't want to have to quit drinking. I wanted to just have this, healthier relationship with alcohol. And something inside me just knew that there had to be a way to do this. And I'm so glad that I never gave up because one day in 2017, I stumbled upon a treatment that actually works to help most people cut back on their drinking by addressing the issue of alcohol use disorder and excessive drinking at the root level, which I now know is actually inside of the brain. When I developed an alcohol use disorder over time, what I didn't realize is that it was changing my brain. And when those changes happen, it makes it really hard for most people, including me, to drink moderately. But when I found this treatment that actually worked to address alcohol use disorder at the root level in the brain, honestly, it changed everything. So what happened to me through this treatment is I started it as a very heavy daily drinker, and over the course of 1 year, my drinking just gradually decreased. I started to have more alcohol-free days where I wasn't having any before, and I started to see myself just gradually drinking less over time. By about 8 months or so on this treatment, I was drinking like once or twice a month. And when I was drinking, I was having like a glass or 2 of wine a month. I was no longer overdoing it. I was no longer having hangovers. And I was spending most of my time alcohol free. And I'd really gotten to this place where I achieved my ideal relationship with alcohol. I was drinking moderately. I could keep alcohol in my life, and didn't have to call myself an alcoholic. And I really felt like I had this control back over alcohol. And as I started to have this control back over alcohol and was no longer having the negative consequences of excessive drinking, so many other things changed in my life, and they continue to change today. So this treatment is called the Sinclair Method. It's named after the scientist who discovered it, Dr. David Sinclair, in the 1990s. And it has decades of research behind it, proving it has a clinical success rate of about 78% or more. So it's an incredibly effective treatment that's been around for decades, but unfortunately, a lot of people still don't know that it exists. All my videos on here are about the treatment, and also the link in my profile will share free resources and just more information about it. And you can also get started there as well. I hope this video helps even just one person. And please know, if you are struggling today or you're feeling hopeless today with regards to your drinking, please know there are answers out there that can help you. Going abstinent and going to AA is not the only way. All right, that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.